Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. It is the end of 2019, and I wanted to reflect on everything that I've done this year as a person, everything that I've done and that Nomad Capitalist has done to learn and build and improve. And I wanted to share some lessons with you. I think it's always important to reflect and to look back, and this is a great time to do it. One of the things that I think really drives Nomad Capitalists to be successful is a great sense of not only awareness of the world around us, but self-awareness. How can we improve? How can we be better? How do we improve our lives? How do we go where we're treated best? And I know that one of the ways that I'm treated best is analyzing, what it is in my life that's working, what's not working, and constantly making improvements. This year has been a great year for me and for Nomad Capitalist. We have grown from 4 people to 22 people, now making it the biggest team that I've ever run in any of my businesses. We've had a record year. We launched our new event, Nomad Capitalist Live, which is going great. We've taken on new people, ultra high net worth people more than ever, people with $50 million, $200 million, even a couple of billion-dollar company founders. And I think that comes from being confident in what you do, being sure of yourself. And it made me think of these 3 things, these 3 lessons that I really honed in on this year. Number 1 is commitment. Now, one of the things that I also did this year, that was a personal accomplishment for me, was I got married. That is certainly a commitment. It's a commitment that not everyone's going to make, but nevertheless, I think that the philosophy of commitment is important. I had a coach who I was talking to him earlier this year, and we had so much going on, and I was getting stressed. And he said, "Andrew, maybe here's one way we can remove some stress." He said, "What if we made a commitment that every year you'd buy only 1 new home and get 1 new passport?" I couldn't help but laugh, but he makes a great point. There's been a lot of themes about commitment in my life this year that I think are really important. Number 1 is I've really made the commitment to shift from just making investments, real estate, whatever it may be, as a way to generate income, but really shifting to legacy. I want to own, whether it's properties or whatever else it is, the best of the best. I want to own things that will stand the test of time. And I'm making a commitment to do that, and making a commitment away from small little deals or buying the cheap apartment in the in-flight magazine, getting sucked in by the kind of stuff that seems easy to do in the moment. I think being a nomad capitalist requires a lot of commitment. It requires a commitment to excellence. It requires a commitment to do things that other people aren't willing to do, and that can be tough. One of the other things I've really focused on this year is the paradigm of the hustler versus the builder, and really deciding that for myself, having become aware of that paradigm, that I want to be a builder. I want to commit to being in business and being the best person in business, delivering the best value, being number 1 in my business. And that takes work. And so for me, commitment has been a great lesson. I think that there's so many ways when you get into this offshore stuff where you can fall into the cracks and do stuff that isn't going to stand the test of time. And I think that looking at things from the perspective of how is this affecting my commitment has been really very important and helpful for me. The second lesson I've really learned this year is the lesson of fit. One of the things that I hear from people when we were deciding to launch our first big live conference in 5 years, Nomad Capitalist Live, was, "Andrew, we would love a forum where we can come and just hang out with people who have a like mind." When I'm meeting with some of our clients one-on-one or in small groups, one of the biggest things that I hear after the work is done, sitting around the bar, sitting at the restaurant, is, "I'd like to meet other people who are doing this stuff." Because with anything where you're successful, there is a certain amount of isolation. As they say, it's lonely at the top. And so if you are successful in business, you've probably noticed that as you become more and more successful, some of your friends just don't get anymore. Some of them leave. Some of them you just hang out with less and less. People that you went to school with just don't quite understand where you're coming from. And when you add the element of nomad capitalist, go where you're treated best, don't keep everything in one country, that really confuses a lot of people. And I know that a lot of the folks that we've helped have said, I don't even bother telling my family and friends why I'm coming to Cambodia or Malaysia or Georgia or Mexico. They don't get it. It's not worth it. And so I think that one of the things that I have done for a long time, because I, from age 19, have been in business, and my early 20s were basically spent every Friday and Saturday night sitting around at home working on stuff. I was not that social. Now I am more social, but now I am more successful than then, and I don't, it's hard to find people. And I think that there's a craving among some of us just to find sometimes anyone to talk to or to share with. And what I've really learned this year, partially through some personal relationships, partially through meeting new people, also through expanding our team greatly, is not everyone's going to be a fit. That can apply to people on your team where, we, quintupled in half, you could say, our staff. And along the way, found some people who just, we made a mistake. They didn't belong there. And try to be as gracious as possible to remove ourselves from those relationships. I think that the challenge for those of us who are successful, the challenge for those of us who are doing things differently, is understanding you've got to be particular about who you allow into your life. What's fascinating for me is seeing some of the people that we've worked with who have 8 and 9 figure net worths, and seeing the way that they interact with folks, seeing how they keep very limited social circles, seeing how they've progressed beyond being super friendly with everyone on their team. They don't share everything with their team members. They keep a clear line between their personal life and between what they're sharing at work. And obviously they have people in their companies that are high up on the totem pole, and they share stuff with them. But they're not going around the office sharing their every thought and their every feeling. That's something that I have had to improve over the years, and that's really come into stark focus for me this year. That if you can have 22 people, or 122 people, or 1,022 people, it's going to be a different work environment than when you had 3 people or 4 people. And that has been a focus for me because, again, we're looking. If you're out there traveling around the world, if you're out there outside of your home country, you're looking for a connection, and you want to make sure that you're finding the right connections. Lesson number 3 for me is along the same vein, which is acceptance. I had a friendship with a gentleman named Will Freeman who runs the YouTube channel Revolutionary Lifestyle Design, and one of the things that we talked about as we hung out was the concept of accepting yourself as a successful person, accepting yourself as a difference maker. One of the things that I had struggled with in past years is allowing people to put stuff on me, allowing people to shame me into thinking that, I was wrong. When you're a self-aware person, when you're someone who wants to constantly improve, when you're a person who has the qualities of a great entrepreneur who sees problems both externally and within yourself and says, great, how do I fix this? Let's do it immediately. I think there's a certain ability for people to come and to play on that. For me, I've always tried to operate entirely at face value. That's why I went into business. I literally knew at 16 years old, I can't play office politics. My father told me a story once. He said his father, my grandfather, told him when he was a kid, and he said this not so lovingly, I think. He said, son, you could never work for anyone. Because my father had a bit of a rebellious, very honest guy, very good guy, but, just didn't want to go and work under someone's thumb. And I was the same way. I realized at 16 years old, I will never do the office politics routine. And so understand that a lot of people want to play office politics. I've learned, whether it's attorneys that we talk to, people all across the board, people kind of speak in riddles. People don't always show all their cards. People play politics, they play games. And as Will says, lies are the social lubricant of society. People are just used to little white lies. Oh, I'm sorry, I was busy. I'll be half an hour late, right? I can't come because of this. that's how society works. And I've always tried to really be a straight shooter and to be operate at face value. And the challenge for me over the years has been watching some people, whether it's on the team, whether it's friends, whether it's other people that are in my life, come in and take advantage of that and make me feel badly. This has been a great year of learning you've got to be who you are. You've got to accept yourself for who you are. And that seems simple enough. It even seems a little woo-woo. But I think for a lot of us entrepreneurs who keep limited social circles, those of us who are global citizens, who are nomad capitalists, who are bouncing from place to place, who are outside of our home country, we're out on the tightrope. And you want to really be careful that you're guarding the way that you feel about yourself. That has been a great thing for me, to not allow people to come in and say, oh, you're doing this wrong, or you're doing that wrong. Now, not to say that you shouldn't be open to criticism, not to say that you shouldn't be, again, reflective and self-aware and ready to make improvements. Probably one of the biggest causes of stress in my life has been, let's just do it now. Let's just go out and get everything done. But that's why I win. And along the way, I've realized, outsource more of the work, hire more experts, overpay at times to reduce the stress because I still want to get the job done. Most people don't understand that. And if you're successful, chances are you felt that way as well. And so for me, at this holiday season, at a time when we should feel good about ourselves, feel good about our accomplishments, I know that many of you out there feel worse about your accomplishments than people who've accomplished far less than you. We had a person who came into our team briefly, and we made the mistake of for an entry-level hire, just making a quick hire. And after that, I put together some pretty formalized procedures on how we're going to hire every person going forward. We're never going to make that mistake again. What was funny is when this person left after about a month and a half, they were telling us, I know my worth. I'm worth more than this. And the guy who was dealing with HR at the time went to the team, and they all laughed. They said this person was terrible. They did a terrible job. And it was funny because I didn't really interact with them, but the one or two times I would see them sitting at the computer, I'd be like, is anything being done? And I just kind of left it to the team to handle. And what's funny is my wife will tell me, Andrew, you're not working an entry-level job. Right? You've started 5 businesses. You've become successful. You've made it. And yet you have less confidence in the person who goes around telling you and mouthing off, I know my worth, after doing a bad job. And I think that part of that is just because of a built-in, work ethic, growing up the way that I did, growing up in the Midwestern United States in the Protestant household. Winter is coming, keep working, it's never quite enough. But part of it is because when you are at the top and people don't get you, they try and throw everything at you. They do it politically by saying the rich should pay more. But in the spirit of the holidays, I think those of us who are out there making a difference, who are wanting to make a change, who are working hard and accomplishing something, should really examine how it is that we feel about ourselves. Year-round for sure, but certainly at this time of year, you deserve to recognize your accomplishments. You deserve to feel good about them. You deserve to understand that some people are going to try and tear you down because they don't get it, because they're jealous. Those are 3 lessons that have really affected me this year. I'm excited for a 2020 filled with more commitment, more doubling down on stuff that works, stuff that serves me in my life, personal life, my financial life, in my relationships, focusing on people who are a good fit, and feeling accepted. What I want to tell you for 2020 is I'm looking forward to putting those things into place in my life. I'm looking forward to working with more great people. I'm looking forward to helping more of you. I'd like to see a lot of you who are looking for like-minded people, who are looking for help, who are looking for advice. I'd like to see you at our live event in Playa del Carmen at Nomad Capitalist Live. But either way, I want you to really keep those principles in mind. And I'd like you to share the principles and the ideals that you learned and that you put in place into your life in the comments section below. Have a great holiday season, have a happy new year, and I'm excited for a lot of new ideas, sharing, and growth. How can Nomad Capitalist help you? 4 ways. Number 1, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to make sure you get our new video every day. Number 2, get a copy of Nomad Capitalist, the book. You'll learn a lot of my personal experiences over a dozen years of studying this stuff, as well as exactly some of the strategies that you can use to build your Nomad Capitalist plan. Number 3, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and I, you want to come and mingle with like-minded people, learn more about our live conference, Nomad Capitalist Live. It's coming up soon. And number 4, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to lower your taxes, get a second passport, or build the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle of your dreams, go to nomadcapitalist.com and click on Become a Client.